Happy Friday! Kamusta naman kayo ngayong gabing ito? Very specific ang pangangamusta ko sa inyo. As in, ngayong gabing ito, kamusta kayo? 'Di ba? Sanay na tayo sa tuwing nagkikita tayo every Friday, Blogafam. Alam na alam nyo na mangangamusta ko. And from our last episode nga, 'di ba? Nagkamustahan tayo about productivity, 'di ba? May nakakaalala pa ba sa inyo nun? Kung may nakakaalala pa sa inyo nun, press 1. Press 1! O, diba? Talaga may pa-interactive sa comment section. Ngayon naman, gusto ko kayo kamustahin. Kamusta kayo ngayong gabi? At kamusta kayo pagdating sa mga passion nyo, sa mga pangarap nyo? Kamusta kayo, Blogafam? Yan ang pagkwentuhan natin bago natin tawagin ang ating mga espesyal na panauhin ngayong gabi. Gusto niyo yun? Tagalog na Tagalog tayo ngayong gabi. Hindi ko rin alam bakit. Na-excite kasi ako, Blogafam. Shout out si John Patrick Espinosa Garcia na nangangamusta din sa comment section. Gusto ko yan. Nangangamusta kayo pabalik. Kinikilig ako. Hello, John Patrick Espinosa Garcia. Gusto niyo yun? Buong buo ko binasa, no? Ngayon, pag-usapan natin, kamusta kayo sa mga pangarap nyo? Kung ako ang tatanungin nyo, Blogafam, lagi ko to sinasabi sa inyo, pagdating sa pangarap ko, ang talagang nakakatulong sa akin dyan ay ang mindset ng law of attraction. Oh, di ba? Naniniwala din ba kayo sa law of attraction? Let me know sa comment section kung naniniwala din kayo. Pumalakpak kayo. May rule po tayo dito, 5 palakpak na emoji lang po kung nag-a-agree. Kung hindi nag-a-agree, mga 3. May pa-countdown pala. Pero ayun na nga, kamusta kayo sa mga pangarap nyo? Ako, okay ako. Kapag tinanong nyo ako, okay ako dahil patuloy pa rin akong naniniwala. And I think it's really beautiful to hold on to something like that ngayong panahon ng pandemya, di ba? Okay na meron tayong pinangahawakan na talagang makakatulong sa atin na magstay positive. Alam naman natin, kahit saan tayo tumingin ngayon, kahit saan tayo makinig ngayon, ang dami-dami nating nababalitaan na hindi magaganda. And I'm sure, hindi ako nag-iisa pag sinabi kong minsan nakakaloka na talaga. And one thing's for sure din talaga na pinangahawakan ko ay ang law of attraction. So kung meron kayong mga pinapaniwalaan, kagaya ni Miss Christine Abraham dyan sa comment section natin, let me know kung ano yung mga pinangahawakan nyo. Dahil ngayong gabi, meron tayong mga special guests na makakausap about health and wellness. Mga kamustahan natin sila. And I know, excited na kayo makita sila, makachikahan sila. So kung excited na kayo, mag-comment kayo sa comment section natin and shout out kay Adrian Lim Duarte. Hello, Mars! Salamat naman sa pagdaan. I'm sure excited ka na rin makinig sa special guests natin. Alam ko marami kayong itatanong sa kanila, so huwag kayong mahiya mamaya. Magpila lang po tayo. Pila lang po tayo maayos. Wala po tayong tulakan. Comment lang po. Opo, wag po tayong magtutulakan dito. Shout out to Miss Ace! Hi, Miss Ace! Miss Ace. Ikaw ay naniniwala din sa law of attraction. Miss Ace, yan ang gusto ko sa'yo eh. May maganon kay Miss Ace. And of course, shout out din sa isa sa mga kaibigan ko from Bida Star. Shout out to AJ Castro, guys. Abangan nyo mamaya. Meron kaming show dyan mamaya. Ipa-plug ko yan, pero mamaya na. Ngayon, magkamustahan muna tayo, di ba? Pero syempre, bago natin pag-usapan ang mga gusto nyong ichika, gusto ko lang din kayo i-remind. Talagang makakatulong to sa inyo ngayong pandemic. Our registration is still ongoing for our Blogapalooza Influencerpreneur Program. So kung gusto niyo pa pong malaman ang mga detalye tungkol dyan, panoorin natin to. Oh, di ba? Ang ganda. So sa mga hindi pa po nakakaalam, our Influencerpreneur program is an incubation program by Blogapalooza which aims to produce a new breed of influencerpreneurs. Ibig po sabihin yan ay content creators with a mindset, skills, and tools of an entrepreneur. So alam nyo na ang gagawin nyo kung gusto nyo matuto ha? Tumutok lang kayo sa amin dito. May pag-utos. Pero dahil gusto ko nga kayong tumutok na talaga and I'm sure excited na kayo, shout out sa mga nandito sa comment section natin na talagang nagki-keyboard warrior. Hello, Rashila Padilla, isa sa mga kaibigan ko. Hello, Ila, shout out sa'yo. I'm sure excited na kayo makausap ang ating mga espesyal na panauhin ngayong gabi na makakausap natin about wellness, about health, at kung ano-ano pang pwede nating pagkamustahan ngayong pandemic. So para naman hindi na ako nag-iisa sa screen na to, di ba? Tawagin na natin sila with our first guest for tonight. We have Rianna Gatus.
Hi, nice to be here. Hello, Eryka, and hello to everybody who's watching tonight.
Yes. Hello, Rianna. Naninibago talaga ako sa Rianna. Gusto ko talaga mag-miss, pero hindi, Rianna lang talaga tayo dito. And para hindi naman malungkot si Rianna tonight at ako ngayong gabi, sasamahan din tayo ng isa pang special guest na shoutout sa nanay ko. Kanina pa nagfa-fangirl, isa sa mga paborito niya. We have Chubi Del Rosario!
Hi everyone! Hey Eryka, Rianna, at sa mga lahat ng mga nanonood ngayon. Hi everyone! Magandang gabi sa inyo lahat.
Yes. Sir Chubi.
Hi,
May sir na naman. Diba,
Chubi! Bago natin, ayun na, walang sir. Bago tayo magchikahan, pwede niyo po ba i-shoutout ang nanay ko na talagang excited na excited kayo? Verly po ang pangalan niya.
Ang pangalan niya?
Verly po, Verly.
Verly. Hi, Mami Verly. Magandang gabi sa inyo. Salamat sa pagtutok ngayong gabi sa amin dito sa Vlog Alive.
Yes. Mami, masarap dinner ko mamaya ha. So ngayon, kamustahin ko naman po kayo kasi kanina pa po ako chumichika. Ako na yung nakikipagkwentuhan sa Blogafam natin. Kayo po, kamusta kayo? Gusto ko kayo kamustahin. Start na lang po tayo lagi with Rianna dahil sa new normal tayo. Hindi natin makita ang isa't isa in person. Okay lang ba, Rianna, na ikaw ang laging sasagot ng first question? Ganon.
Sure, no problem.
Yes, okay. Kamusta ka naman, Rianna?
Okay naman. Welcome to my home, everybody. And I've been busy lang teaching yoga and holding teacher trainings and doing my best to keep up with my mental health. I thank you so much. Ring light lang yan. Pero yun, it's been I think 7 or 8 months I think right now, and medyo weird na ang pakiramdam to be outside already, and so I'm trying to get used to doing a little bit of both and trying to live my life as normally as possible. Pero syempre mahirap din and we still have to stay safe. But I've been doing okay, me and my dog. But yeah.
Yes. And I'm happy that you are okay. And lahat tayo, ayun nga, sabi nga ni Rianna, stay safe tayong lahat. How about you, Chubi? Ayan, nandito na yung nanay ko, nakaabang na sa comment section. Kamusta po kayo?
I'm doing really, really good, Eryka. I want to say, ayun, hi, Ace, hello, Ace. I hope all is well. And hi, to Rachel Sheila. Oh, ayan si Verly. Hello, Mommy Verly. Yeah, to answer your question, Erica, I'm doing really, really good. Syempre, ang dami mga challenges na pinagdaanan ngayong pandemya. At the same time, though, I would say that in the past few months, everything has been really, really good. Medyo, I would say, sanay na sa lahat ng mga nangyayari ngayon. Talagang nakapag-adjust na ng husto dito sa online world. And I would say one thing that I love, with regards to what I get to do nowadays, is that I really get to focus on what I believe is the most important person in all our lives, ourselves. So I get to focus on myself a lot personally, and that's something I get to enjoy. Medyo consistent yung mga routines ko every day in terms of my daily practice, and exercise, and meditation, and all that, which I'm happy to share with everyone here today. On top of that, as Rianna shared, also ako naman mga online work din, yung mga so it's more online hosting, mga virtual events, as well as online training as well for companies along the lines of mga wellness, and yeah, so that's what I've been up to.
Yes, ang dami, ang busy ng ginagawa talaga ni Rianna and Chubi. Pero thank you po at napaunlakan niyo po kami ngayong gabi. And gusto ko lang talaga ulitin yung sinabi ni Chubi kanina na huwag niyo pong kakalimutan pangalagaan yung sarili niyo. Kasi minsan pinapangalagaan natin ibang tao, nakakalimutan natin yung mga sarili natin. And since na-mention na po natin lahat ng mga ginagawa niyo po, gusto ko po malaman, and I'm sure gusto din po malaman ng Vlogafam, how did you get started sa mga ginagawa niyo po in life, lalo po ngayong pandemic?
So,
Rianna.
I started yoga. Actually, my job before I started doing yoga and wellness full time, I was actually in showbiz a little bit. I worked for a talent management company that handled local celebrities also. So, hindi malayo ang industries that we worked in also, Chubi. So, and very stressful siya. And I was going through a lot. And the very first time, actually, I came through to yoga, I was going through a lot of mental health issues. I was also going through a lot of grief from losing father figures in my life that were very important. And so, at that time, I started yoga back in 2005 pa ata. And at that time, wala pang yoga studio, puro sa bahay lang. And so, I tried yoga for the very first time because I was going through a lot of emotional stuff. And so, and I got hooked ever since. And then, fast forward to a few years later, I actually opened a yoga studio that you guys might know. It's Beyond Yoga. Yeah, so I'm one of the founding partners of Beyond Yoga since 2011. And so actually we just turned 9 years old this month. And yun, I've been teaching yoga ever since, and this has been my life. And yeah, no regrets. Very happy.
Congratulations naman po sa lahat ng achievements nyo, Rianna. And gusto ko lang po ito i-highlight, no? Yung sinabi ni Miss Ace, showbiz pala both guests natin. Parang yung kabog ng puso ko, naloka ako ng very, very light. Kinabahan ako ng malala.
I'm not anywhere near as showbiz as Chubi, but I did dabble in showbiz a little bit. Oh my gosh, thank you, Danix. Oh my gosh, sana I met some of you through classes before, if you've ever attended some of the Beyond Yoga classes as well.
Yes. And after this pandemic, magkikita-kita tayo dyan, Rianna.
Correct.
Now, Chubi, ayun na nga. Paano po kayo nagsimula sa lahat ng pinapagawa niyo po ngayon?
Well, on my end, gaya ng shinare ni Rianna, I was very active in showbiz. Nung shinare ni Rianna, siya. It was quite stressful when I was in showbiz bata pa ako noon, and go out a lot, nagpa-party ako, lahat the works, late umuwi, and so on and so forth. So, eventually, I was searching for more. Syempre, nag-gym, doon nagsimula, gym, exercise. Eventually, nag-level up ng naging mga meditation. And then, na-meet ko si Rianna for the first time. I think this is around, if I'm not mistaken, mga 5-6 years ago. Nung nag-take ako, I think I took my first yoga class mga 6 or 7 years ago. And then I started taking yoga classes regularly sa Beyond Yoga then. And I love Rianna. practice. I got it. I still do. I still do. I still do practice. And, and when I took yoga, I was so hooked to yoga that I took the Beyond Yoga Teachers Training. I forget which batch ako particularly. And then from
Oh my
there,
gosh.
patuloy ko pa rin siya. Memories, right? And then from there, patuloy ko pa rin siya. I still continued my search along the lines of wellness. I ventured into a plant-based diet. I entered into energy healing. I became a pranic healing instructor, and then from there, so many other things happened. Entrepreneurship. The journey continues. At para sa akin, if you ask me, kahit may pandemya, even though I'm just at home, the journey still continues. For me, lifelong learning is a lifelong process, and so
Yes, ang ganda.
and so I still continue to do on a regular basis. The journey continues. The journey continues.
Ang ganda ng The Journey Continues. And gusto ko lang po sabihin ha, naloloka ako sa comment section natin tonight. Ito na ata ang episode na pinakamaingay na na-host ko, ang gulo-gulo ng comment section. Bago natin ituloy ang ating mga questions, Chubi and Rhea, merong personal questions dito. Si Miss Ace and, ayan, si Miss Ace both. For Rhea, pwede bang mag-yoga lahat kahit hindi flexible?
Well, if you want to do yoga, if you want to be flexible, mag-yoga ka. Diba? So, walang prerequisite ang yoga teachings. Also, to take a class, wala siyang prerequisite ng health or wellness or fitness level that you need to come into. You just have to come as you are, and you are totally welcome. And there is no requirements for you to come into the yoga mat. And everyone starts somewhere. So if it is something that you want to explore and build on, yoga is the perfect place to build flexibility.
Ayun na nga. So sa mga nagtatanong dyan, at least malinaw, kahit hindi kayo flexible, basta gusto nyo maging flexible, yoga is the key. Hindi lang PM is the key. At ito naman, para kay Chubi. Ito na yung mga nagfa-fangirl. Favorite moment ng TGIS days. Ito na nga.
I would say, i-connect ko to sa wellness, no? I would I would say yung best moments ko was social connection. I would share this when people would ask me about it, that yung TGIS was some of my best days in the industry. It was just because of the social connection I had. And feeling ko that's something along the lines of wellness that is still very powerful nowadays. Like itong ginagawa natin ngayon, to talk to people online. I feel that social connection is something that super helpful during these times.
Diba? Sa mga nagfa-fangirl dyan, ayan na, nakuha nyo na ang sagot ni Chubi. So ngayon, bumalik na nga tayo sa topic natin. Ang gugulo kasi talaga sa comment section eh. Tingnan nyo po, ang daming mga humahabol pa. Mamaya na yan. So ngayon po, dahil nabanggit nyo nga po, ang dami nyo talagang pinaggagawa. And kahit nagkaroon na ng pandemic, the journey still continues and we just really have to adjust. Ngayon naman po, gusto ko kayong tanungin, what are some changes you've had to make to keep yourself happy and healthy during this time?
So at the beginning of the pandemic, I feel like it was very, very heavy on me because I'm so used to moving around and connecting to people, and especially for my classes, I'm a touch communicator kasi also.
Yeah.
So I found it hard to adjust in the beginning, but then I really think it's important to realize that when we start to think of way too far ahead or way too far behind, it's hard to find happiness where you are. And so there are many things to be thankful about, and to change the mindset that I was in, I really had to put into perspective parang the fact na I have internet and means to communicate with my friends and family, and the people I love are with me and are all safe, and I have a home and food, and parang it really changed my perspective as to what is important and valuable in my life. And so it's really just a matter of shifting the lens and looking at what is important to me to
Mhm.
change my mindset in this time. Kasi
Mhm.
the pandemic definitely changed a lot of things, and most of us are going through grief shy of the way
Yes.
things used to be. And so I try to stay as present as I can, through different techniques, and really keeping in mind and heart what is valuable and important at the moment.
Yes. So, change
Yeah.
of perspective talaga. Hindi tayo nag-iisa, Vlogga fam. Minsan kailangan lang talaga natin i-switch, 'di ba? Tingnan natin ano yung mga importante. Sabi nga ni Miss Ace, grateful for the simplest of things, 'di ba? Minsan talagang it's really the little things that count. Ikaw,
Yes.
Chubi, ano
Yeah,
ang mga kinilangan mo?
I love what Rihanna shared lang, no? Because feeling ko a lot of the stress na nangyayari ngayong times na ito is our minds usually going to the past, kind of like wishing na things were the way they were or were different na, parang we're recalling what were the good moments nung nakakalabas pa ako ng
Mhm.
bahay. And then, quite often the mind thinks about the future naman, parang kailan kaya ito matatapos, kailan ko kaya
Yeah.
ito magagawa, ganyan-ganyan. And I love what Rihanna shared there, and that's something na talagang pinapractice ko rin, especially for the past few weeks. Is one practice that I love is just really being in the present moment. Because pag yung utak natin, if it doesn't go to the past, if it doesn't go to the future, if it's just so intensely present and intensely
Mhm.
ginagawa niya, I feel there's so much magic in the present moment. And so for me, the important practices para sa akin during these times, kasi when the pandemic started, it started off actually, syempre,
Mhm.
in the business, etc., dami mga inaayos. So there's some stress
Yeah.
happening. And after
Super.
that, right? Parang may na
Mhm.
siya. And then when March 16 happened, which I feel was parang yun yata yung first official day, basta
Yes.
around the first official day of quarantine, I started to dive talaga into my personal practice. Kasi na-realize ko na pag masyado bumibilis ang buhay, pinapagalan ko siya through my morning routine. So, kumbaga, when life is really fast, I tend to slow down myself. That's pag bumibilis ang external world ko, I tend to slow down the internal world through a lot of
Mhm.
practices. There's meditation, there's breathing. I would do yoga at home as well. And then, so just putting these practices together, feeling ko it really, really helped me get through a lot of the stuff during this pandemic. And in this case, fast forward to today, it really helps you find that inner peace.
Mhm.
To really just feel good from moment to
Mhm.
moment.
Ang ganda po nung sinabi niyo na kapag mabilis yung mga paligid niyo, 'di ba? Bagalan niyo siya sa kung ano yung kaya niyong i-control kumbaga. And siyempre bago po 'yun, gusto ko rin po itanong, meron po ba kayong mga ginagawa dati before pandemic and then nung tumama na yung pandemic, kailangan niyo ihinto. So you had to do other things to keep you sane. Kasi sure po ako madami din sa mga nanonood ngayon sa Vlogga fam natin, gusto po malaman kung paano po sila makaka-relate in that sense.
For me kasi, I think more than anything, homebody din talaga kasi ako. I really just go to work and then I go home, and every so
Mhm.
often I'll meet up with friends. Pero in general naman, homebody ako as a person. Pero I think what affected most of us most is the fact na wala kang choice. Do you know what I mean? And so,
Mhm.
uh, some of the things I miss is being able to take a long drive. I really enjoy taking long drives and being able to drive far and go back, and
Mhm.
having the option of having lunch in another city or in another town without, the worries of papers and stop points. And yun, I think for me it's just it's the choice I have as to where
Mhm.
I'm gonna go that got taken away. And I think that's what affected me more than anything, is just having
Mhm.
the choice. And so things that I miss is being able to visit the yoga studio. So our studio has actually been closed, for the entire pandemic, and we're actually reopening in October 26th. But I mean, for that really long time,
Mhm.
I couldn't visit it, and that was such a big part of my life to really, baby mo yun eh. So parang you want to
Mhm,
be able
mhm.
to take care of it and check in, and I miss seeing the staff. And so some of those things, that I do on a daily basis is what I miss. yun, just a routine of having other things to do apart from sitting in front of a screen all the time is what I
Mhm.
miss.
Yun ang nami-miss ni Rianna. And I'm sure kapag nag-reopen na po kayo, everything will go well. I-claim po
Yes.
natin yan. Chubi!
That's a good question. I don't think much has changed. Totoo lang. I'm such a massive introvert because I don't know if a lot of people know, but I love being alone. I love my alone time. I love reading. I love doing these things. At the same time, siguro if there's something that really changed, it was I do a lot of hosting. When I was, nung wala pa ito, I would do a lot of hosting. And there's a part of me that does miss hosting. At the same time, I guess sa totoo lang, I feel I'm also so grateful lang. I feel there's so many things to be grateful for. Kaya hindi ko siya masyadong namimiss, hindi ko siya masyadong naiisip yung mga nagagawa ko before because I'm just so grateful that I'm so grateful I'm in good health. I'm so grateful I get to eat healthy food. I'm so grateful that my family members are the people close to me. For me, honestly, there are just so many things that I'm so grateful for that I don't really get to focus so much on the things that I miss. That's just how
Alright. At since nabanggit nyo na po ito, yung you have good food, ito may nagtanong po sa comment section natin si Miss A. Since Chubi, you are into plant-based diet now. Ang tanong po ay ito, how difficult was it to transition from the normal diet na may meat and all? Gano daw po ka-drastic, if you wanna share?
Well, for some people, nangyayari siya overnight. I don't know how, siguro nagka-epiphany sila. There's some people naman na parang ako na dinahandahan ko siya where I did research muna. For me kasi, for me, I really switched to having a plant-based diet. I really made sure that my purpose was strong. So first, I was in because of the health. For health reasons. And then pagkatapos nun, I did more research. So it was more of a compassionate angle naman for animals in a way. And then after that, I did more research. I saw it connect to the environment. So after that, I did it also as well for to help the environment, to contribute to the environment. So eventually, it was a three. I had three strong whys as to how to continue the. After I had my why, everything else na lang was just a matter of just the technicalities na lang and the specifics saan ba ako bibili ng ganito, paano yung ganito, paano sa day-to-day, paano ako magbabaon ng food para sa labas, sa mga businesses and stuff like that. So that's pretty much how it went for me.
Yeah, basta strong yung why mo, no? Kumbaga yun yung pinaka-foundation mo, yun yung pinaka-purpose mo. Basta malinaw siya, Vlogga fam, kahit sa ano naman atang ginagawa natin sa buhay, basta alam mo kung bakit mo yun ginagawa, di ba? Parang wala na masyadong challenges. Pero bago natin balikan ang ating questions, I love our comment section talaga. Ang daming questions. Ito pa po, for Rianna and Chubi, what are your thoughts on essential oils para sa ating mga katitahan? A lot of people who are into wellness swear by it.
I wouldn't say na I'm an oil advocate 100%, but I do use it regularly for different things. So this is primarily just for me, I use it to primarily kunwari if I have a headache, there's peppermint, right? Or mixtures that I have that some people have made for me and some that I have bought and oils that I have bought. Parang I use it mostly to change my mood a little bit and to kind of take me into a more down-regulated, easygoing place because I think it's I think smell, the sense of smell has a really strong ability to do that. To be honest, I'm not that studied in essential oils because I understand there are some people out there who, well, I diffuse it also, pero there are some people who mix it with food also, and I've heard some of those things. Pero I'm not that well-read or well-versed in essential oils. I'm just basically a pat here, pat there, I'll smell it. Just to ease my mood, a headache, or if I'm feeling a little down, or different oils tend to change your feelings. And so some oils make you sharper, some oils make you a little more relaxed. And so that's primarily what I use it for. And I think they have really, really great effects on you. you just think, I think you just need to really study how you use it, because I understand
Mhm.
that there's some oils that don't go together or shouldn't be diffused together, or if you have pets, may mga
Mhm.
ganon. So I think it's definitely something you should research on and do your studies on,
Yes.
for sure.
Mm. O mag-research kayo, Vlogafam. May iba kasi lahat na. Basta may oil nagagamot na, pati lagnat nagagamot na, lahat na. Ang daming ganyan. How about you, Chubi?
Copy paste.
Copy-paste na lang.
I would say similarly. Siguro what I would add lang dun sa shinare ni Rihanna is, from what I know kasi, is that when it comes to sensory perception, the sense of smell talaga is very, very strong in terms of influencing
Yeah.
yung psychological makeup and thought
Mhm.
process natin. So what I know personally, I would like to add lang is that it works. It works for me. And
Mhm.
from what I've heard in workshops, what I've heard from friends, yung mga advocates, is that, it's something that they really, really attest to na talagang gumagana. Personally, I feel na pag pagod ako, I will get massage oils, particular oils. Again, like Rihanna shared, I suggest to do your research. You want to make sure na healthy yung oils na ginagamit sa katawan.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, baka may mga allergic reactions. And you want to do your research,
Yes.
because kung masyado matapang yung oil, it could have an adverse reaction. Baka kailangan i-dilute sa tubig and stuff like that. So yeah, just do your research. I mean, when it comes to anything naman along the lines of wellness, I would recommend to
Mhm.
just research first, kasi iba ang reaction ng katawan natin sa iba't ibang mga pamamaraan or mga wellness stuff. So see if it works for you. Kung gumagana siya para sa iyo, then go for it, and do the research. Yeah.
Yes. So, kung ano yung nag-work para sa inyo. Ngayon po, ito po personal question ko sa inyo. Gusto ko lang po malaman. Ano po yung routine nyo na kaya nyo i-share na nag-work for you ngayong pandemic? Ako po kasi parang part ng routine ko talaga nung unang parts ng pandemic. Gusto ko ako nagpe-prepare ng food ko. Tapos, after ko kumain, kailangan na ayusin ko na yung ganito ko, ganyan. Parang very organized, and lahat ng gagawin ko sa araw na yun, yun yung nagpapa-keep sa akin sa sanity ko talaga nung mga unang part ng pandemic. May mga naging ganun po ba kayong process? Or hanggang ngayon po ba ganun pa rin yung process nyo?
It's quite similar naman for me. You just took out the driving through traffic part. Pero
Mhm.
usually for me, when I wake up, the very first thing I do is I try to sit and do a meditation in the morning just to start off. I make a cup of coffee. I practice. I teach. And then I cook for myself talaga. So I
Mhm.
live alone. Well, no, I live alone with my boyfriend and my dog. But yun, so we cook for ourselves because we have no help din naman here. So we prepare all our meals, and yun, I just spend my time kind of teaching and practicing, and then I'll read when I can. I'll watch Netflix when I can.
Mhm.
I sleep actually pretty late, which is actually bad. Because I spend a little bit too much time on Netflix watching murder documentaries. So, pero
Mm-mm.
yun, my routine is quite simple. It just revolves around yoga and my practice, and parang this constant self-regulation every day. Parang constant inventory check of parang how I'm doing, because there's a tendency for
Mhm.
me to get a little bit too zoned into one thing na I kind of lose the day. Like I can work
Mhm.
all day and then I realize I haven't eaten, that sort of thing. So it's just keeping mindful about what's going on from moment to moment daily. And that's pretty much how I live.
Mhm. Wag mong pinapabayaan ang sarili mo, Rihanna. Ayoko nagugutom ka.
Correct.
Ayoko nagugutom ka. Chubi, ano ang mga ginagawa mo?
I would like to add to the shinare mo, Eryka. I think that's nice, the routine mo na you mentioned na, may intention ka pagising mo, you make sure na
Mhm.
ikaw yung food mo, you do this, you do that. And I would like to add on to that lang na I think it's quite important para sa atin during these times na to make sure that the mind is very present and to really live. Ito yung
Yeah.
sinasabi to sa yoga, right? To make sure that you live with intention, Sa yoga, diba, right, Rihanna, sa yoga, I know you usually mention there's this thing in yoga na, you step into the mat, you make sure you set an intention para sa practice mo. And I would like to take that into sa conversation natin na the moment you wake up, I would suggest already set an intention. What
Yeah.
are you going to do next? What after this? What is the goal of your day? What is the purpose of your day today? And then I would like then the moment you're able to do this for one day, I would like to challenge or like to suggest as well na parang take it to another day and a third day and a fourth day and a fifth day and a sixth day, a week, and then a month. And then next thing you know, you have a month or 2 months of
Mm-hmm.
purposeful days filled with intent. So the reason I share this because I'm such a huge believer kasi of routines and morning routines
Yeah.
particularly. Ang dami kong mga pinaglaruan na morning routines during this pandemic. And one thing that I was able to change before I used to sleep so late.
Uh-huh.
It's so hard.
I know. It was such a challenge. I read this book. I would like to share that I read this book by Robin Sharma called The 5 a.m. Club. And that totally changed my routine habits. And syempre challenge pa rin siya. May mga moments na natutulog pa rin ako ng medyo late. But for the most part, especially nowadays, I usually wake up. And this took so many months of training. Since March ako nagtitrain, nagumising na maaga kasi talagang late ako natutulog. But I'm happy to say that for the past few weeks or months, I've been able to wake up consistently at 6 a.m. for the past few weeks. And so, and from there, quite similar to Rianna, I do meditation as well. I do a physical practice. Sometimes it's yoga. I do some breathing. So I really mix up with my morning routine. Naglalaroan ko siya. I see what really suits me the best. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, listening to both of you, parang hindi ko na feel na nahirapan kayo. But I'm sure lahat naman tayo nagsimula somewhere. And I want the Blogga fam na makarelate din sila. And ang dami nagtatanong sa comment section kanina, paano kapag gusto nila mag-start ng yoga, ng wellness, ano ba yung masasabi niyo sa mga gustong mag-umpisa pa lang? Ano ang maitutulong natin sa kanila? What is the good place for them to start? Whether it be about health, about wellness, about yoga, about routines, kahit ano po na share nyo.
I think when it comes to, the cliche na it's a lifestyle change, it really is talaga. And so, pero one thing that I'd like to share is that whenever we come into something new, whether that is changes in your lifestyle, your health, your wellness, you're entering a business, you're entering a new friendship, you kind of have to try to set aside expectations for yourself so that there isn't a lot of pressure that'll deter you from getting to where you want to go. And it's really important to know na you have to take it step by step. So Chubi and I have been talking so much about being present in the moment. And one thing that's really valuable na I've learned over the years is that progress is not linear. It's not a one-way street that goes up and up. It's going to go up, then crash down, then improve a little bit, then not. And so the beauty of it is that you have time to practice, and there's no perfect time for anything. So if it's something that you want in your life and you feel like you need it in your life, you find teachers that resonate with you. You find a style that resonates with you. Because sometimes it could be a bad class na you take tapos ayaw mo na ng yoga, which is sad. Pero you really have to find teachers that you resonate with, people with good experience, good intentions na who really know what they're talking about. Kasi yoga kasi more than the workout part. Kasi may benefits din naman with working super hard. Pero at the end of the day, para siyang training ground for the way you deal with your life outside of your mat. And so it's really valuable to see it from a perspective that is realistic, that is compassionate for where you are. And so, progress is not linear and all you have to do is start. Yeah.
Ang ganda nun. Progress is not linear and kailangan lang natin mag-umpisa. So sa mga nagtatanong dyan kanina, yung mga gusto daw mag-yoga, yung mga gusto matry mga routines, kailangan lang natin talaga mag-umpisa. Yun lang ang pwede natin gawin. Thank you, Rianna. Chubi!
On my end naman, I would like to take what Rianna said on the lines of progress, and what I would like to suggest is to just practice, practice, practice. I first learned the art of practice sa yoga then. Where in yoga, what I learned during my teacher training in Beyond Yoga was the reason it's called practice is because in-acknowledge natin na hindi pa ako magaling dito. So in that case, I remember like if I quit after my first class, then sana, I would have missed out on so many treasures in my life. Because of course, the first yoga class para sa akin, it was so difficult, right? It was very difficult.
Yeah.
You know, wala akong kaalam-alam. I just walked into the class. Hindi ako parang inalagaan ng teacher na, oh, Chubi, ako ba, Chubi, gawin mo. Walang ganon. And I just walked in and I did the practice and it was painful. It had its aches and pains. But I mean, kasi is whenever you're embarking on the path of wellness, is that change doesn't happen overnight. Right?
Yes.
Before change happens, you might experience a bit of challenge, right? Like in my case, sa yoga, it was a bit aching muna. Ano tong mga stretches, you know? So, but over time, it was one of the best feelings I ever had. And so it's kind of like I saw May nagtanong about meditation kanina. So for example, meditation,
Yeah.
right? If you do meditation for the first time, naalala ko yung unang-unang meditation practice ko, sabi ko, okay, kasi maraming mga guided sa YouTube. Sabi ko, magta-try nga ako ng meditation practice na silence lang. As in pure silence. So, ang tagal na to. I think I did this like 7 years ago kaya. Sobrang tagal na. And then, alam mo yun, 5 minutes lang. Tapos, the moment I closed my eyes, Diyos ko, pinagpapawisan na ako, nairita na ako. Alam mo, it was such a challenge, and that was just 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Lo and behold, once masali na ako sa ibang mga retreats, and we would do silent meditations for 1 hour. You know, so what I'm trying to say here is we all start somewhere, right? We're not experts right away. And meron tinatawag na beginner's mind, right? That, you know, always enter with the mindset of a beginner. That regardless if, you know, don't have expectations that, ang galing-galing ko, advanced na ako dito, come with that beginner's mindset. Meaning that whatever happens, you're just open to it because we acknowledge that everything is a practice. So, yeah.
Ang ganda nun, na laging mag-practice and always have that beginner's mindset. Kung tatanungin ko po kayo ngayon, ano po ang beginner's mindset nyo?
My beginner's mindset. Well, it's for me kasi I anything I start, I'm kind of I'm medyo an alpha type of personality kasi. So parang I kind of, and I'm an Aries, and so I charge everything medyo all in, hard on, and you know, so my beginner's mindset is really taking my kind of personality into this space where of acknowledging na I don't know everything, and especially if it's something new. And even, you know, I've been teaching yoga for like 10, almost 11 years na, and even up to this day, there's still so many things that I don't know and I don't do well and perfectly. I know the things that I am good at, pero I think true beginner's mindset is something that you take with you even when you find progress or your footing in anything. And so it's the step one of acknowledging not knowing everything and not being great at everything, and really finding that openness to learn. And so you have to come in kind of with an empty cup and being super ready to take in whatever new thing it is that you're coming into.
Ang ganda ng beginner's mindset ni Rhea. How about you, Chubi?
Medyo sinabi ni Rianna lahat. So,
Copy-paste ulit.
I'll copy-paste ulit. Pero I'll come in with another perspective naman. I would say para sa akin, my beginner's mindset is to challenge myself every day. Kumbaga, this is something that I've been practicing for the past few weeks, is that to have a constant mini challenge every day. And one thing I believe in kasi is to challenge yourself by 1%, even just 1%, to have 1% incremental improvements, because this has a compounding effect, right? So you know, if you challenge yourself by 1% after 1 month, wow, how much more are you a bigger person? And so for me, it's because when there's a challenge, the moment you challenge yourself even by 1%, even though parang pareho lang yung ginagawa mo, it still sounds like something new because there's an added challenge to it. So just adding on to what Rianna shared, because I do acknowledge talaga, yun din kasi yung ginagawa ko, but the whole adding a challenge something that has really, I guess, added a lot of interest to my day. And ang napansin ko, pag may challenge kasi yung ginagawa ko, like in the sense, like siguro today I'll read the book, maybe I'll read like X amount of pages. Tomorrow I'll add 1 or 2 pages. Para ganon. Even just like simple things like that, and adding this on a daily basis, I noticed that when I go to my book, parang yung mindset ko just changes because I know, okay, I'm not doing the same thing I did yesterday. I'm doing something a bit better. And because of that, today I'm getting also a bit better. I'm getting a bit bigger today because I chose to challenge myself. So, that's what I would like to add on to that.
Grabe, parang pinapakinggan ko lang kayo. Ang dami kong natututunan. And I'm sure ang dami nyo din talagang natutunan because of the pandemic. But eto po, last question ko sa inyo. If there's one thing, isang bagay lang na kaya nyong i-share, pag tinanong po kayo, ano yung pinaka-significant na natutunan nyo because of the pandemic? Ano po yung pinaka-i-share nyo? Kung halimbawa isa lang ang pwede nyong i-share. Ayun. Yes. Bibigyan ko kayo ng time mag-isip kung kailangan niyo po mag-isip. Pang Miss Universe pala itong question ko. No? Biglang papageant pala sa dulo.
And matutunaw yung makeup ko. Grabe.
Hindi, kayang-kaya mo yan, Ria. May tiwala ako sa'yo. Ayun. So, shoutout muna natin ang mga tao sa comment section natin na sobrang ingay ngayong gabi. Maraming salamat at sinamahan niyo po kami ngayong gabi. Yung iba talaga, nakikita ko mga nagfa-fangirl dyan. Thank you so much. Okay. And ito nga sabi ni Miss Donna kanina.
Hi, Mom. Oh my gosh. My mom is there pala.
Hello, Mom. She's so proud of you. Ayun. Sabi nga ni Donna, that's such a good advice. Yung mga in-advise nyo kanina, challenge yourself every day, even if it's just 1%. Sobrang totoo. So, ito na po ulit tayo sa ating $1 million question. $1 million question. Ano po yung pinaka-significant na natutunan nyo? If isa lang po yung pwede nyong i-share.
I would say na the biggest thing that was so important to me in this pandemic is that change is nonstop. And change is the only constant thing. And I think we've heard that quote before, pero and I know it already, pero I've never gone through so much in my life in these past few months. I mean, with the business, with how life has changed, and it's hard times also. And I think it boils down to really what yoga has taught me also about really taking each moment for each moment. And so the biggest thing I've learned is to acknowledge what goes on without judgment, without blame, without resentment. And I think if we're able to place ourselves in that mindset that is calm and steady, even when everything feels quite chaotic, it'll make difficult things seem a little bit easier. That's why it's gotten easier to also prioritize the things that are really valuable in life. And so, family has never meant more. My friends have never meant more. And it's really realizing what is important and keeping that right up front that has held my hand throughout this entire experience. And so throughout all the changes that I've been going through, my practice, my business, beyond, and how the yoga sphere has actually changed in these past few months. I would be in a really dark and sad place if I didn't stay where I am now and just acknowledge and go through the motions of it and keeping myself in check. So for everyone out there who's going through tough times and changes that you may or may not like, it's really important to constantly check and take inventory of where you are and really checking in nonstop, asking yourself how you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And so taking it day by day, these are some of the things that have been the most valuable to me in this pandemic.
Ang dami ko talagang natututunan with this episode. Parang gusto kita bigyan ng corona ngayon, Rianna. So, thank you so much. Thank you so much. How about you, Chubi? Gusto ko yung pinasolo layout ko na kayo kanina. Sige, ipapasolo
Okay.
layout na rin natin si Chubi.
Nangyari
Let's
sa'yo?
go.
Sure, yun na. Well, for me, what actually, I've learned so much talaga. There's never been such a time in my life where in a span of, I don't know, 6, 8, 9 months has it been, where I've just really learned so much. So I was thinking about it, and I would like to share two things that I learned, if that's okay. And I'd like to call it GG. Um, well, first, the first thing talaga is gratitude. Because I realized talaga that, amidst all the challenges, when I really take a moment to sit down and just think about the things to be grateful for, nawawala lahat ng mga concerns ko, lahat ng mga worries. Because I realized, wow, lahat ng mga inakala kong pwede mangyari bukas, hindi nangyari. Lahat ng mga inakala kong mangyayari pagkalipas ng isang linggo, 1 month, none of these things happened. So I realized to just really be grateful for everything. Because in the moment of gratitude, the best part of you shines. And all of the worries of the past and all of the worries of the future, they just tend to disappear when you're in a sea of gratitude. And one thing I would like to share sa lahat is one thing that really helped me is I started, as part of my morning routine, nagsimula ako ng gratitude journal, just listing down a whole page full of things that I'm grateful for. And I realized that this really changed something in my brain, some mindset ko. And I just really started tuning in to things I could be grateful for, especially when things could get a bit worrisome or a bit darker, so to speak. And another one is growth. I realized that during this time, we have a choice kasi we have a choice to take it as it is, na nasa bahay lang ako, and what will I do at home? There's nothing to do. At the same time, we also have a choice to realize, okay, I'm at home, I have internet, and the internet is a wealth of information. There's so many things to check. There's so many things to look at. There's so much things to research. And if we look at it from a growth perspective, from a growth mindset, we can realize that this is my moment where I have all the time in the world to become the best version of myself. And so that's what I'd like to share, a perspective of gratitude to help us kind of like center ourselves. And the moment we're centered, to really focus on that aspect of growth so that we have this intention to really develop ourselves and make the most of this time. And so I would say para sa akin, those are the two biggest takeaways I have of this pandemic.
Chubi, gusto din kita bigyan ng corona. Grabe, hindi ko nakita yung perspective ng growth in that way. Until ngayon ko lang siya narinig. Yung growth and gratitude combination na yan. Very well said. Thank you so much. And now, ilalagay ko po ulit kayo sa solo layout. If may mga gusto po kayo i-promote or kung saan po namin kayo pwede sundan ng Blogafam para po mas makatulong sa kanilang wellness, unahin natin ulit si Rianna.
Yeah, so I'm actually teaching on a regular basis, and I hold classes pretty much every day. And if you're interested in practicing with me, you can check out at Rianna Yoga on Instagram. On Facebook, it's Rianna Gatus Yoga because there's another Rianna Yoga in Spain. So and then I also have a teacher training school. If you guys are interested in being a yoga teacher, you can check out innerpowervinyasa.com. And of course, Beyond Yoga, you can check I Go Beyond Yoga on Facebook and all other social media platforms. Take yoga and please join us in class. Remember that all you have to do is come as you are, and you are totally welcome exactly where you are, whatever fitness level, whatever flexibility level, it really doesn't matter. All we want is for you to get well and stay healthy, both inside and out. Yeah, hope you'll join us.
Thank you so much, Rianna. So sa mga gusto pong mag-start dyan sa yoga, dun po natin siya mafa-follow si Miss Rianna. And now, Chubi Del Rosario.
Okay. Well, for me naman, I'm also a coach as well and a trainer. So if you would like to contact me for coaching or training, you can feel free to reach me through Life Flow Living. Just hit me up on Facebook, on IG. And at the same time, I'd like to invite everyone, if you'd like to tune in to talks related to this, We do have a talk every Monday, 5:30 p.m. We call it Monday Conversations with my good friend Paula. And you can feel free to tune in. That's every Monday, 5:30 p.m. And I wish everyone a good, amazing journey of wellness. And I hope to see you again.
Thank you so much, Chubi. Gusto ko magpasalamat talaga sa guests natin for tonight. I'm sure ang dami natutunan ng Blog FM natin. And ako, ang dami ko pong natutunan. Pinapakinggan ko lang po kayo. And ayan, super love tonight's episode. Thank you so much, Chubi and Rianna. And thank you so much sa Blog FM natin na talagang tumutok at nag-ingay sa ating comment section. Kulang na lang magtulakan. Thank you so much, Blog FM. Sana ay masasarap ang mga ulam nyo ngayong gabi. If you want to follow me, that's at Eryka Lucas on everything. And magkita-kita tayo ulit. Maniwala tayo sa law of attraction. Mata sa langit, paa sa lupa. Paalam. Bye, Blog FM! Happy
Bye, everybody. Thank you.